What's up, Sparkman family? It's your boy Sparkman, and welcome back to another video. It's been 3 weeks since we made a video, but oh my god, I'm so glad to finally make a video. I'll explain why at the end of the video, why we took such a long break. But with that being said, we got some breaking news, and yes, this news has been out for the past 24 hours, but we'll talk about it because, I mean, why not? This is insane news. We got full art cards finally in Yu-Gi-Oh! And on top of it, we have serialized cards to go alongside with it as well. They're calling it overframe. We know it's full art card. We know it's going to look like the Rush Duel card. This is fantastic news for the Yu-Gi-Oh! Space. For those that don't know, the Yu-Gi-Oh! Space has been doing pretty bad in terms of the market, in terms of what the value has been for these booster boxes. We've been talking about on the channel for, well, it seems like a very long time. A lot of people start waking up to the fact that, yes, boxes are not selling, boxes are not doing well, cards are not doing well, the value of Yu-Gi-Oh! Is going down, while other card games are succeeding in a huge fashion. We covered that in a older video, I would say, only like a month or two ago, but showing like, you know, like all these new games are succeeding and taking off. And Yu-Gi-Oh! Again, it's been around for so long, and where we're seeing Pokemon and Magic do really well, Yu-Gi-Oh! Has fallen flat on itself, so it needed something to pick itself up alongside Genesis, alongside this full art now, serialized, and all these things that they're starting to do. Is going to see a good avenue for Yu-Gi-Oh! To start succeeding. And we talked about it. It needs to succeed in multiple facets and not just one avenue, right? So now they're starting to do that, which is a great sign. They're listening to the community, which we've been asking for this for a long time. We've been asking for support for older formats. We're getting it with Genesis. We're getting it now with the full art cards in this as well. It's glad. I mean, I'm very glad to see them doing this, to be honest with you. And again, they're listening to the community. Finally, right? We've been talking for such a long time. They need to listen, and if they listen, the game will succeed, right? So now with full art cards, we're getting a new design, something refreshing the game a little bit. And again, a lot of people have been asking for this, especially what they've seen from other card games. So it's nice to see them actually going ahead and doing this. And like I said, a lot of OTS stores were dropping Yu-Gi-Oh! Because again, it was doing so poorly, right? We had sets that were going for $30, a whole booster box for $30. Keep in mind, again, that's 24 packs, right? 24 packs for $30. I mean, really put that in perspective how bad that is, right? We had some booster boxes going for $40, but that, again, like $40 for 24 packs, that's terrible, right? We're talking about, MSRP for a single pack is like $4.99 nowadays. So, like, that's a steal, right? For $40 for a whole booster box. So, again, like, the math doesn't add up, especially with Yu-Gi-Oh! Right now in the current day and age. So it needed to do much better, and they needed these new updates in order for itself to start picking back up. I think we're going to see a lot of people start coming back to the game because we're going to have an avenue for collectors now. We're going to have an avenue for people that just want to have really nice, cardboard, really nice looking illustrations, right? So, I mean, I think a lot of people are going to be big fans of this. I think we'll bring a huge avenue back to Yu-Gi-Oh! And a lot of people into Yu-Gi-Oh! I think a lot of people that are not into Yu-Gi-Oh! Will start to see themselves get into the game because of, again, the artwork, right? We're now seeing it in a different light, not just like the old frame of Yu-Gi-Oh! But now in a different frame as well, that being full art cards. And I think with the serialized version on top of this, right, to go alongside with this, you're going to see a massive, huge wave of people joining the game. Why? Well, again, we're going to talk about this in a more positive light because we kind of need more people joining the game, but we're going to see a lot of scalpers, a lot of people. I know we don't want that here in Yu-Gi-Oh! Space because we don't want what's happening in the Pokemon community where you can't find anything on the shelves, but we do need some sort of buyouts in the market. We do need some sort of buyouts in product on the shelves as well in order for the game to start actually succeeding, right? So we do need that audience to kind of start creeping into Yu-Gi-Oh! Just a bit. I'm not saying that, we want to see them full on board and we never see Yu-Gi-Oh! On the shelf. That's not what I want, but we want to see those type of audience creeping into our game because we need the actual margin of Yu-Gi-Oh! To start doing well, not just in stores, but OTS stores as well, right? We need OTS stores to start selling Yu-Gi-Oh! Again or keep Yu-Gi-Oh! On the shelves because we're seeing a lot of people just drop Yu-Gi-Oh! Because of what would have happened in the market, right? I mean, they're not going to profit off a $40 box. They're not going to profit off a $30 box. They're not going to profit on any of these cards because they're so devalued in the market right now, right? So there's a lot of things going wrong in Yu-Gi-Oh! So that's why we needed stuff like this, right? And Genesis has helped alongside in the market with that, but there needs to be more, right? We talked about it. Genesis can't be your only avenue in like doing one thing and expecting the whole thing to shift and everything to be better for Yu-Gi-Oh! Right? So this is another shift in a right direction. We do need more shifts and a lot more things to be done, because again, you've lost a big part of your community due to lack of communication, the lack of trust, and the lack of things that you've done to really destroy the collector market in terms of Starlight and QCRs, right? So we've talked about that in a huge extent for the past year on this channel, so I'm not going to go into a huge thing on that, but that is why we've seen a lot of people leave the game, because the lack of trust that they have with Konami and Yu-Gi-Oh right now. But again, this is a good step in the right direction. I know we can talk about doom and gloom and all these bad things that has happened this past few years, I should say, because it's led up to this really a very downward turn for Yu-Gi-Oh. But we're starting to see that upward climb where they're starting to do good things, and we're hoping that trend continues, right? Because for the most part, a lot of times what we've seen in the past is that they'll do something good and then they'll bring it back down. Like, we need this train to be going up right now, right? We need to keep going up. We don't need any downward turns. We need upward turns right now, and in a good fashion, right? Positive note all the way through going into 2026, 2027. We need just a lot of good things happening in Yu-Gi-Oh right now. Again, we have a lot of other card games out right now. They're doing really great things, and we need that same avenue of success for Yu-Gi-Oh. I mean, this game has been out so long. We know this, right? I mean, 25 plus years at this point. So they should know what to do. They should know how to adapt, and they should be listening to the audience, because the audience is telling them what to do. They've definitely updated pricing. Obviously, we're going to continue to ask more for pricing, because, again, people invest a lot into this game, so we'll continue to ask more there. But they've done some pretty nice jobs in the past few months, updating some, pricing stuff. Now with Genesis, now with this full art cards, now with Serialized as well. I mean, I love this. I love this, right? Like, we can't ask for anything better. We need stuff like this. Like, this is what we're going to be heading towards in terms of artworks of these cards. Like, this is exactly what we've been asking for, and I'm glad that they're delivering on it as well. Whoever they hired, maybe they hired a new marketing personnel at their establishment, their company here, because we've been asking for them to kind of like fire all of them and hire some new ones. So maybe they've listened and they've hired some new actual, people that have some sense, to be honest with you, in their company, and they're going the right direction with this. By the way, I just wanted to just shout out New York Comic Con had some really awesome pins, by the way, not to go off topic, but I mean, this is really awesome. I got to get these two, so I had a friend on Instagram that I messaged, and he got me these two, so shout out you, man. I appreciate you, man. Yeah, there were some pretty cool ones, man. Pretty cool ones. So if you were looking for some really cool pins, I mean, New York Comic Con had some really nice ones to go alongside it. But again, we got some really good news here in Yu-Gi-Oh, and this is what we needed. We needed good news. We've been asking for good news and repetitive good news, and we're getting it with this one. I have to say as well, the structure deck with the all foil structure deck that we're getting, this upcoming month, did it release already? I gotta check the calendar, but with this structure deck coming out with a few months from now, another structure deck that's all foil as well coming out, they need to continue that avenue. I think that's going to be a successful product, and definitely a product line that they definitely need to continue, that will be successful with the audience. They love that type of stuff, right? They're getting an archetype fully foiled. You sold an entire audience on that, especially fans of that archetype, right? So I think a lot of people would love stuff like that in the future, and I hope they continue that stretch forward, and they continue producing structure decks in a more a shorter time span as well, because we've seen that avenue that structure deck takes too long to come about. They need to make that time frame very much shorter. So good to see them doing that regard as well. But like I said, man, we got some good news starting to happen for Yu-Gi-Oh! Some good market stuff starting to happen for Yu-Gi-Oh! Which again, a lot of people are like, oh, who cares about the market? The market dictates whether or not Yu-Gi-Oh! Stays alive in the future here, everybody. So it does matter in a huge fashion. And it does matter when you talk about, playing Yu-Gi-Oh! At your locals, playing Yu-Gi-Oh! At OTS stores, if OTS stores still exist, right? Because if Yu-Gi-Oh! Continues to do bad, OTS stores are going to drop, right? You're not going to see Yu-Gi-Oh! At, they won't even be OTS stores, right? There won't be any of those things. So that's why we need Yu-Gi-Oh! To continue to succeed, because, we want Yu-Gi-Oh! To stay on the shelves at the end of the day, right? Because at the end of the day, Target's nice and all these other places nice, but you need a community to go to play the game and all that fun stuff. So it's nice to see them starting to do things in the right direction, starting to listen to its community, like I said. But let me know what you guys say in the comment section down below. Would love to hear what you think about this change. Do you like it? Do you hate it? But I think for the most part, what I've gotten from a lot of messages, what I've seen from a lot of videos, what I've seen from a lot of direct messages on Instagram, and what I've seen on the comment section, a lot of positive notes, right? A lot of positive things that we're seeing here. So, you know, really good stuff overall. But before I went into the video, I just wanted to say, like, I apologize for being gone for 3 weeks. I had a lot of different things happening. Obviously, you guys know I'm having a baby, so been taking care of that. You know, I have a fiance. We just, I just got engaged or whatever. So, you know, there's a lot of stuff happening in that avenue as well. And then I also had, unfortunately, a family member that passed away. So I've been dealing with that. On a side note, I took a trip to North Carolina because we're thinking about moving there. So, you know, there's a lot of stuff happening right now, everybody. So I do apologize that we've been on a little bit of a hiatus for 3 weeks, but we'll be back with Market Watch. We'll be back with a lot of things, but just to give you a snippet of what's going on in my life and what's really been kind of not allowing me to record. So I do, like I said, I do apologize on that end. But I hope you guys understand as well, because life happens, and again, I'm starting a family. All those things happen. Also, it's not great that starting a family and then also like losing a family member at the same time, which absolutely sucks. Kind of like it felt defeating for a little bit. So it is what it is with that. But like I said, I hope you guys understand. We'll be back with consistent videos every single day. You know how it is. We try to upload every single day, but we'll have Market Watch videos. We'll have news updates. We'll talk about this more extensively, because I'm sure there'll be more updates to talk about with this as well. Obviously, there is already a collection that they're bringing out with this, so we'll definitely have more updates about this in general. But like I said, very exciting news overall. Want to hear your thoughts, your opinions. But from me, Sparkman, we'll catch you next one. Please comment, and peace out, YouTube.